Evening. Good evening. We're here for the Natrona County Board of County Commission regular meeting. It is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. The meeting's been called to order. May we have a roll call?
Commissioner Brill,
Here.
Commissioner Laird,
Present.
Commissioner Milne,
Here.
Commissioner North,
Here.
Chairman Nicolason.
Here. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will return at 5:30 for our regular business items. We are back from our executive session. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Milne, seconded by Commissioner Friel. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We do not have any contracts, agreements, resolutions, so we will move directly into our public comment section. If you'd like to make public comment, please come on down and identify yourself and your place of residence.
Chairman Nicholas and Commissioners, last week, 3 citizens presented you with information and questions regarding activities and issues at the Casper and Natrona County International Airport. Some of those issues were that in 2019, the Airport Board signed a lease through 2040 with Atlantic Aviation, giving them exclusive rights to lease hangars to the public. These hangars are in fact property of the county, the people of Natrona County. Under the terms of this agreement, Atlantic Aviation pays as little as 6 cents up to 6 cents per square foot. This equates to Atlantic Aviation paying the county $175 a month for the large hangars, which Atlantic charges upwards of $750 a month to the community for. Currently, Atlantic Aviation's lease agreement required Atlantic to be the exclusive fuel provider for tenants. These are subleases of the lease of the airport gave to Atlantic. These subleases clearly violate FAA Grant Assurance 23, prohibiting sponsors and by extension subleasers from establishing exclusive rights for any aeronautical services on the airfield. FAA Grant Assurance 23 clearly states that sponsors, the Natrona County Commissioners, will terminate any exclusive right to conduct an aeronautical activity now existing at such an airport for the grant of any assistance under Title 49 United States Code. By failing to properly review subleases and provide oversight on this aspect, the airport operation, the airport board and management have placed any future federal grants to the airport and potentially to the county at risk. Why did the airport board and management give such a sweet deal to Atlantic Aviation? Why is our airport walking away from potentially tens of thousands of dollars in revenue, even if hangar tenants were reduced to a non-punitive level, with leases that actually allow operators to fuel at somewhere other than Atlantic Aviation? Why have you as county commissioners allowed this to occur? What action has been taken with regard to these concerns that are now a matter of public record? Chairman Nicolason, as the county commissioner liaison with the airport, were these issues a surprise to you?
I'm going to speak to the letter that we were presented 2 weeks ago during my commissioner comment section. Thank you.
Were they a surprise to the members of the airport board of trustees? And if so, why? If you're going to speak to that, Chairman Nicolason, are you not engaged and informed in your responsibilities to the county with regard to the airport? Is the airport board not engaged and informed with regard to their responsibilities at the airport of Natrona County? If this was a surprise, is this a lack of competence, transparency, or a lack of responsibility and accountability by those individuals? If the information presented was not a surprise, then why were these situations allowed to continue and grow? Where was the oversight at the airport by the airport board? Where was the oversight by you, Chairman Nicolason, as the airport liaison? What actions are you taking to address these items? And today, did you select individuals for the airport board to help fix these problems, or did you select individuals who have been part of the problem? Thank you.
Other public comment? Good evening.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Logan, no, it has to do with potentially having landowners along Squaw Creek look at easements. We've got some areas where the road is not entirely in the right of way, so we'd like to try to rectify that by contacting the landowners to see if they are agreeable to easements with the county. I don't know, actually,
Ms.
but we
Ms.
could give you additional information if you contact my office outside of here. Certainly.
Mr. Logan, this has been a project long in the works that Mike Hagler with Road and Bridge has been working, I think, for a number of years. One of the issues that's come up is I think the existing roadway may be a little outside of some of the existing easements. So I think we've got our surveyor that identified where there are some issues, and I know that that's what that's regarding. So, yeah, they can contact the county attorney's office. I think that's probably the point department, even though Mike Hagler also knows everything about it. But if their department is trying to get names and addresses, I think that would be helpful to also contact the attorney's office.
That's 307-235. $9460.
Good evening.
Buses going up every day, every weekday for high school. And starting in January, there's going to be 4 more middle school buses going up to the North Park. I'm seeing the reason why that parking lot can't be just completely reopened. When they were building the building on the lot, that parking lot was closed. The launch was done. You can see it's a damper on Nordic skiing up there. Mangus does lessons starting in January on Sundays, and without a lodge, there's really nowhere for the small kids to go warm up or anyone else to go warm up. So I would like to see that parking lot opened and the lodge get opened. It's been shut down for 5 years, probably. So, thank you.
With response to your question, I had asked our Parks Department director to inquire about opening up the lot with the contractor. We think that it needs to happen. I didn't know that it needed to happen right away, but I'm still waiting for a response, and I'm communicating with him right now because I'd like to see that open. I know for a while he wasn't hearing back from Caspar, the contractor. But I think we hopefully can figure out some way to accommodate the buses.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like there's a lot going on. I mean, the lodge is almost done, so whatever space they need, you could rope off or block off somehow. But I mean, the majority of that lot can be open pretty easy, I would think.
We'll inquire about it again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wishing to make public comment?
Greg Werger, 7,000 Coates Road.
Good evening.
Good evening. Mr. Commissioners, what I was hoping to do is get an update of to what extent we can, of the Prism Logistics lawsuit against the county, and during commissioner comments would be fine. And if that wasn't possible, how we go about at least knowing the schedule, if that schedule comes out of what comes about from that lawsuit. The other thing I was wondering during commissioner comments, if the emails and the conversations with Mr. True has ceased since he's suing the county today. And thirdly, if you can give us an update on any involvement with the Teton County case in the Supreme Court. I understand that the oral arguments are in January, and if you can confirm that and what kind of the schedule that happens in that regard, I'd sure appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and respond to some of that right now, Mr. Worker. We can't comment on pending litigation. We are going to be actively defending the case. I don't know if we've filed any pleadings yet other than an entry of appearance. Has a briefing schedule been established?
No, Mr. Chairman, so this is an appeal of the commission's decision to change the text, to approve the text amendment, changing the resolution. And so what the county is required to do is to put the record of the proceedings together, which that's ready, and then the court will issue a briefing schedule that will set when briefs are due by the parties, and then a hearing date potentially may be set down the road, but that'll be sometime down the road.
Mr. Werger, I don't know the answer to your question about phone calls and texts and emails with Prism or Mr. True, other than speaking for myself. There haven't been any and wouldn't be any, and I would hope my commissioners would also recognize the fact that as litigants, everything should be going through our counsel. Their counsel, our counsel. The Wyoming Supreme Court appeal of the Teton County case will be January 16th. That's a Thursday at 4 p.m. Again, January 16th, 4 p.m. is the oral argument on that case. And I think it's reasonable for our county legal department to reach out to you and we need to reach out to you because you are the proponent or applicant of the zone change anyhow. So we'll do that at least as a courtesy when a briefing schedule's been established so you can kind of monitor that lawsuit. Okay? Any other public comment? All right. Commissioners, Commissioner North brought to my attention that we may need to discuss the congressional tour tonight, specifically whether I think Natrona County is going to be a host county. The host county, and that I think that you indicated a decision tonight would be ideal.
Yeah.
Or necessary.
You want me to fill them in?
Would you please?
Okay. In our last phone call, they asked, there's 3 counties, Fremont County, Carbon County and Natrona County. The congressional tour will be next August. And one of the things they brought up was who would be the host county. One of the things that they made very clear was that the commissioners needed to have a good working relationship with the treasurer. Everything's going to be paid for through, it's not going to be Natrona County funding. It's going to be paid for, but it needs to go through the host county. That's basically what the host county does. They will be flying in and out of Casper when they come in. And we're talking about making a loop. We don't know what the loop's going to be yet, but that's basically what it amounted to. But I requested that we postpone a decision on some of this until after this meeting. So I would like to be able to give them a nod one way or another at this next call, which is on Friday. And you guys are welcome to be on that call too. I mean, that's open to all the commissioners. So just your thoughts.
Thoughts on that? Not commissioner comments yet.
I don't have any thoughts.
Any thoughts? Commissioner Friel?
I'm in favor. You're asking if we want to be the host county.
Yes, I
I'm
am.
in favor of it. Yep.
Commissioner Mellon?
Have we discussed this with the treasurer yet?
No, I have not, but I will be happy to do that. I don't have all the details at this point in time, but I'll be happy to go down and discuss that with them.
Mr. Chairman, if I don't think I have skin in the game unless it's a budgetary issue, and Commissioner North said that it wouldn't cost us anything, so I'm fine with it.
She's fine with it. I'm fine with it.
You know, Commissioner North, I think we do have a good relationship with our treasurer. I think that sometimes our treasurer's office is pretty overburdened. I would like them to be comfortable with this, and I think that they need to be maybe in touch with another county treasurer's office that did it last time, to see if it is something that they can take on. I know sometimes there's some delays in getting information through that office, so I think that is a legitimate area of inquiry. What are your thoughts on whether we're the host county and whether our treasurer's office is equipped to do it?
I think that it makes most sense that we're the host county, just because we're starting and ending here. The other thing that I would not make that decision without talking to the treasurer first. And that's something I want to make sure that they're comfortable with that. And I do agree. We have until August before a lot of this takes place. And so we have a lot of things that we can work on. It's just, this is the initial stages of things and moving forward and just looking and seeing what we're comfortable with doing as a commission and not just as individuals. So, but I do believe that the treasurer needs to be involved with this 100%. And I will be happy to take that role and go down and talk to him, and I'll get as much information as I can from the WCCA on this and pass on that information as soon as I get it.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a kind of follow-up question on that. When you go talk, or maybe you know already, you're saying that most of this will be in August, but when is this process that he would be involved in? Right now toward the end of the year and everything, and even at the beginning of the year, that office is dealing with property tax. So
Basically, all this would do is be taking in the funds and distributing them.
right. But when
But
would that process?
August. That would be coincide with the tour itself.
Okay.
That's what it amounts
So
to.
you wouldn't have to mess with it until August?
No, it wouldn't. It would be late. It'd just be a matter of getting things set up now. That's my understanding, is that you're just setting up those accounts where you can process.
Setting up accounts.
Well, I mean, I know,
Yep, the bills are gonna come through our clerk's office.
right?
I want us to understand, this is not a treasurer's problem, and it's not a clerk's problem. This is a burden for every one of the five of us. I didn't make, because of a funeral, that meeting, that Zoom meeting last Friday, but I have talked with, some of the people at WCCA about this. There is a significant burden to be shouldered by the host county, and in particular, the county commissioners. You all will be involved in maybe riding on a bus, maybe not all of us the whole time, but certainly we have to be hosts of our county, but then there's also the legwork. So please understand that it's not just we're going to sign the treasurer up for something.
No, it does take more than that, but this is the first leg of it.
And the meetings for the organization, I think are going to be monthly, and then as we get closer, twice a month.
We haven't set that up yet because we discussed that. Like I said, we're going to have another meeting this Friday, and then we were going to discuss the frequency.
But I think
that point.
have they done it now 3 times previously?
No, we just had the first meeting.
No.
Oh, yes, they have. They have done this all over the state. We are the last.
Right. So
Last
3
group
other
to do it.
times. And so it is a commissioner time investment. So some of the commissioners might not have to worry about that, but some might. And I don't want it to be one commissioner's problem. Commissioner Friel.
So I don't have any skin in the game on this, and I know that Casey does, but can you tentatively tell him that there's interest here, but we want to get more details as to how involved it's going to be for everybody across the board, and then come back and give a definitive.
Including the 2 ladies at the end of the table. One is
Absolutely.
our assistant who does a lot of legwork for us anyhow, and so our burden is her burden.
But I'm talking about as far as involvement by the commission, everybody within the commission, the clerk and treasurer. So that would be my suggestion. I think that we'd probably be in favor of it, but we need a lot more information before we give a definite thumbs up.
I resemble those comments.
That's the reason why I wanted to make sure that we brought that before the commission. There has been no commitment at all from anybody right now, and I just said at the last meeting, I just said that I want to make sure that everybody's on board with this before we do commit to anything. And so, and I do think that that's accurate, that we need to find out as much information as we can. Right now, I don't know exactly how long they're going to be here. The one thing, by flying in and out of Casper, we'll have a reduced time frame while they're here because they'll start, so it'll be shorter here, and we'll get the front and the back end of it as far as what we're going to do in Natrona County to show them instead of having a solid time frame. So we'll have a little bit of a break by doing it that way.
Converse County hosted it a couple years ago. Who was the host last year? Was it Fremont?
No, it was, I think, Sublette County.
Oh, it's down
Yeah, it was Sublette, Lincoln, Uinta, and part of Sweetwater last year.
there. But Sublette was the host.
I believe so.
Have either of the other 2 counties expressed interest in being the host?
They did the other day.
Okay. So I do think that we need to have a few more conversations and do a little more legwork. Hi. What's that? Thank you, Commissioner North. I think then, why don't we continue with you for commissioner comments?
We had a lot of good interviews this afternoon for a lot of different boards. And it was nice. It's really nice to actually have a lot of people interested in these different boards and a lot of very, very qualified people. And I appreciate our community stepping up and taking interest in these boards, because that's what we rely on. That's our eyes and ears out in the county and different things. And even though we work as liaisons, those boards are the ones that actually do a lot of the work. And I do appreciate having people out there that'll step up to the opportunity and do the work. We've been doing a lot of different things around the county. This is our last meeting before Thanksgiving, and I hope everybody goes back and remembers what the first Thanksgiving really was. And that, we think about all the turkey, we think about all the other stuff, we think about the things that we have during Thanksgiving, but bottom line, it was neighbors helping neighbors. It was the Native Americans that saved the bacon of the people that came over here that didn't know how to take care of themselves, and that was part of it. They're the ones that made sure that they had what they need to survive, and that's really what's important about it. We've got to remember what's important, and this is the time of year that we need to think specifically not only about what we have, but what we can give back to other people around us. And I think that's something we need to dig deep. We just got through a very divisive election in this nation, and it's time for us to start healing. It's time for us to find out what our common goals are and work on that and quit working on the things that divide us as a nation. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Laird.
We did have some good interviews, and it all went well. And I don't know when those get announced, Mr. Chairman.
So, I conferred a minute ago, and with our assistant, Michelle, and one of those won't be announced, for the Amico Joint Powers Board won't be announced till our next meeting. So, we could announce them tonight, but we could also wait until the next meeting. If there's a strong preference, we could do it tonight, but otherwise I was thinking we'd wait. Commissioner
Well,
Mel,
that would be up to you, in my opinion, but I'll
you have a
continue.
preference?
No, I just was asking when you intended to do it.
Hey, can I interrupt? Did you have something on that, Commissioner Mill?
Yeah, during some of the interviews and conversations, I think it'd be respectful of those people that did put their name in, but were not selected, to be notified by our office first, prior to public notification of who was selected.
Okay, we'll make sure that happens, Michelle. Okay.
Good idea. So I got a little emotional tonight about an issue. I just want to mention it. I was a young man in the Vietnam era, and I turned 21, got married, got accepted to law school, and got drafted, all in 2 months. And I was scared to death about the draft, and I went down there, and they turned me down because I didn't weigh enough. And the guy that was the first in our class, they turned him down because he weighed too much. And they took 2 other guys. There were 4 of us that went down. So we went on back to law school. And when we were seniors, the other 2 guys came back from Vietnam. And they were involved in battles. They were warriors. And a couple of other my friends the same way, and they came back, they just weren't the same. They never were. Because in that era, people called them baby killers and everything. So personally, I honor our warriors. Period. And I can't tell you why I get teary-eyed anymore. But that's how I'm feeling tonight.
Commissioner Frill.
I don't have any comments tonight. Just Thanksgiving's coming. Have a good holiday.
Commissioner Milne.
I don't have much. I also would like to thank everybody for coming in and putting themselves forward for the interviews for the different boards. Wish you all happy Thanksgiving. Be careful. Don't blow up any deep fried turkeys or anything like that. And I'd like to congratulate Commissioner-elect Casey Coates and Commissioner Dave North for winning their elections.
Following up on what my fellow commissioners referred to as it went well interviewing these candidates. We're thankful for the candidates and their interest. The five of us don't agree on everything all the time, but it's really remarkable when we are working in the best interest of the county, which I think we've consistently done on all of these board appointments since I've been a commissioner. And we've set politics aside every time. And we've picked the best candidate for the position every time. And we're not always unanimous, but we're pretty darn close. And anyway, I'm just thankful to my fellow commissioners for approaching it that way, because we are doing the right thing for these important boards. I'm thankful that we had so many candidates for some of these positions, and I'm thankful to the public, the members of our community that want to give back. And we heard that a number of times today, that one person said, I'm at that point in life where I don't want to take, I want to give. And I think that's a great attitude. And anyway, it energizes me a little bit when we hear from these folks and see how excited they are about serving on the seniors board, or all these boards. So that's pretty neat. I wanted to talk about the airport issues. At our last meeting during public comment, Representative Locke and Ward presented an unsigned, undated letter. Representative Locke stated it was his letter put together with input from others. He didn't verify its content otherwise. It contains a variety of allegations related to airport operations and management. Both of those representatives confirmed that they had not raised any of those concerns with the airport board or management, and neither's previously raised any question or concern with me as board chair or as airport board liaison. Now that I've had a chance to review the letter, in sum, I'd report that there's a lot of misinformation and baseless allegations, and it's also very clear that there are personal and political vendettas at play here, and I think that's just a shame. The airport board hasn't had an opportunity to meet and discuss the letter, but I anticipate that it will do so in the immediate future and reply at some point to at least some of the content. But as a commissioner, I can speak to what's occurred during the last 2.5 years as a commissioner and as liaison to the board for almost 2 years. Like other component parts of Natrona County, the airport is annually audited, bids out its contracts and leases, and goes through standard RFP processes for selecting vendors and banks. Members of the airport board abstain or recuse themselves from decisions when a potential conflict of interest exists. This is absolutely one of the best-run public entity operations in the county, period. The airport's being run so well that it hasn't asked for operational monies in at least more than a decade, maybe closing in on 20 years. It has diversified airport activities in a remarkable way, bringing into existence a regional firefighting training program, regional federal firefighting bases. There's good potential to expand that even further with the very large air tankers. Bringing into existence, the state recently selected through a competitive process our airport as the new location for the Helitack firefighting base. Our airport has the only customs office in the state, which brings a lot of traffic through our airport and a lot of money to the service vendors out there. Our airport has a federally designated free trade zone, which has game-changing potential for our community. The airport this year has seen a passenger emplanement increase to levels not seen since the 1980s. And that stuff doesn't happen on its own. And those that don't recognize the amazing management out there are either uninformed or have personal agendas that certainly aren't in the best interest of this community. The airport board is amazing, and our airport manager, Glenn Januska, is one of the best managers in the entire Rocky Mountain region. And I can personally attest to the fact that his reputation is excellent amongst his peers and in the airport industry in at least the Western United States. I've run into people at airports that are sitting by me on planes going to Dallas or Houston, and they know Glenn Januska, and he's top notch. I can attest to that, having worked next to him for 2 years. We're incredibly fortunate to have him, and he spends countless hours working for your airport. He puts together, for example, every week a 6-page update for his board to let them know what the current status is on various things. People who don't know any better regularly say the airport should spend more time trying to bring in other carriers for passenger travel. And I would love having more options, but it's not easy to get airline carriers to expand operations, especially in a community the size of Casper, or move operations from other communities to Casper. There's a lot involved in getting airlines to move planes. There's a lot in that, and I can assure you that there has been and continues to be a priority and constant effort from the board and airport staff in the two years I've been liaison and 2.5 years I've been on this commission. And I'd encourage anyone who has a question or a concern about the airport to get away from the uninformed gossip and the trolls and come talk to me or talk to the airport folks or attend their public meetings. Tomorrow they're having one. The work study session starts at 11 and the regular meeting starts at 1.